If you are over 55 and the word retirement has been sitting in the back of your mind, if you have started imagining the day you hand in your resignation or step away from the work that has defined your life, I want you to stop everything and listen to every word of what I am about to say before you make a single decision. Because the world has been lying to you about retirement. The world has told you that retirement is the goal. The world has told you that the purpose of decades of work is to escape work. The world has told you that the gold watch ceremony is the destination, the finish line, the reward you have been earning your whole life. I am Rabbi, and I am here to tell you on the authority of 3,000 years of Torah and Talmud that retirement, as the modern world defines it, is one of the most spiritually dangerous transitions a Jewish soul can make. And by the end of this video, I am going to give you 3 specific things the Torah requires every elder to do before they retire. 3 things that protect your finances, your health, your purpose, and your legacy. If you retire without doing these 3 things, you will lose more than money. You will lose vitality. You will lose meaning. You will lose the bracha of your second life. Stay with me to the very last word, because what I am about to share is not theory. It is practical, proven wisdom drawn from 3,000 years of Jewish teaching about how human beings are designed to live and contribute and flourish all the way to their last breath. And before I get into the 3 things, I need to tell you something about why this teaching matters so personally to me. But first, if you have been part of this community and what Rabbi brings to this channel has been adding real value to your life, subscribe right now. Every week, we go deep into the Torah and bring it home to the real life you are actually living. The kind of wisdom that does not get old because it was never new. Hit subscribe so you do not miss a single teaching. Now, let me tell you what changed my life. There was a great rabbi in our community, a teacher of my grandfather's generation, who died at the age of 94. Before he died, he had spent 30 years in what he called active elderhood. He never retired, he simply transitioned. After his funeral, my grandfather pulled me aside and said, "Rabbi, learn from him. The Torah has no word for retirement. The word does not exist in our tradition. There is no commandment to stop working. There is no commandment to live in idleness. There is only the commandment to transition properly into the season of elderhood, the season of wisdom, the season of teaching, the season of overflow." He told me that the modern idea of retirement, the cessation of all meaningful work in exchange for leisure, was an invention of the industrial age, and it was killing more Jewish men in their 70s than any disease. He showed me the verse in Pirkei Avot 5:21 that lists the stages of life. At 60, elderhood. At 70, fullness of years. At 80, strength. At 90, the bent over. At 100, as if dead to the world. Notice that elderhood does not mean retirement. It means a new role. The sages knew that the elder who stops contributing dies in spirit, and the body follows the spirit within a few years. I did not fully grasp this teaching until I was in my late 50s and began imagining my own retirement. I had built my work. I had reached a comfortable level. I started fantasizing about handing the keys to someone younger and walking away. I told my wife about my plans. She listened. And then she said one sentence that changed my entire life. She said, "Rabbi, I have watched too many men of our community die within 5 years of doing exactly what you are describing." I sat down. I thought about the men we knew. She was right. I could name 7 men in our community who had retired in their early 60s and had died within 5 to 7 years of stopping work. None of them had wanted to die, but they had stopped contributing. They had stopped having a reason to wake up. And the body, denied a reason to wake up, finds reasons to stop. I canceled my retirement plans that night. I restructured my work. I put in place the 3 things I am about to teach you. I am telling you this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that this is not academic. This is lived, and the results have been beyond anything I expected. Now, before I give you the three things, I want you to do something right now. Drop a comment below and write the words, "My elderhood will be my most fruitful season." Write it right now before you continue watching. Not because Rabbi needs the engagement, but because naming a truth publicly is the first step toward living it. And when you see others in the comments writing the same words, you will be reminded that you are not facing this transition alone. There is a community here doing this work together. Comment right now, and then keep watching. Let me give you the foundation of everything I am about to share. The Torah teaches that the purpose of life is to participate in the building of the world, from the moment you take your first breath until the moment you take your last. The form of the participation changes. The participation itself does not stop. The 50-year-old contributes through labor. The 70-year-old contributes through wisdom. The 90-year-old contributes through presence. Each form is precious. Each form is required. The man or woman who stops contributing has stopped living, even if the heart still beats. The Talmud teaches in Tractate Avot that the elder who has acquired wisdom must give that wisdom away. The wealth of the elder is wisdom, and wisdom that is not given dies with the elder. Retirement, as commonly practiced, is the burial of wisdom while the body still walks. You have been told that decades of labor have earned you the right to do nothing. The Torah teaches the opposite. The Torah teaches that decades of labor have earned you the right to do what matters most, what only you can do at this stage of your life. There is a difference, and that difference is the difference between a fruitful, expansive third act and a slow decline that steals your 70s and 80s before your time. The pattern Rabbi has witnessed over decades of working with men and women in this transition is so consistent, it is almost frightening. The right transition produces harvest. The wrong retirement produces decline. The difference comes down entirely to the three things I am about to give you. Here is the first thing you must do before you retire. Establish a continuing form of meaningful work. Not the same work you did in your career, a new form, a reduced form, a wisdom-based form. But work. The Torah commands us to work 6 days, and the sages teach that the man without work is closer to spiritual death than the man without prayer. This does not mean you continue your old job at full intensity. It means you transition. Perhaps you become a consultant in your industry, working 10 or 15 hours a week. Perhaps you teach the trade you mastered to younger people. Perhaps you mentor entrepreneurs. Perhaps you write the book of what you have learned. Perhaps you start a small business that uses your decades of expertise on a part-time basis. The form does not matter. What matters is that you wake up every morning with a meaningful task and a meaningful relationship with the world. The Talmud teaches in Tractate Barakot that the soul of an elder requires 3 streams to remain alive: the stream of contribution, the stream of relationship, the stream of meaning. Continued work supplies all 3. Without work, the streams dry, and the soul dries with them. Begin planning this continuing work at least 3 years before you intend to step away from your primary career. Do not wait until you have already left to figure out what you will do. The transition is incomparably harder once the bridge is burned. The sages teach that the man who builds the bridge before crossing is the man who reaches the other side dry. The man who tries to build the bridge after he has jumped is the man who drowns. If this teaching is landing for you right now, pause for 5 seconds and share this video with someone in your life who is approaching retirement and may be making the wrong plan. You know someone whose spouse is quietly worried, someone who has been talking about quitting without any plan for what comes next. Send this to them right now, not at the end of the video, right now. The 5 seconds it takes could reshape the next 30 years of their life. Here is the second thing you must do before you retire. Establish a tzedakah commitment that requires you to continue earning at least some income for the rest of your life. This is one of the most powerful protective practices in all of Talmudic teaching. The sages in Tractate Bava Batra teach that the elder who continues to give bracha to the world through tithing remains a vessel of bracha himself. If you retire fully and live only off accumulated savings, You will gradually feel that you are draining a tank rather than channeling a river. The man whose income has stopped feels poorer every year, even when his net worth is substantial, because he is consuming rather than producing. The Jewish elder maintains some level of earning so that some level of giving continues. The giving keeps the channel open. The channel keeps the soul young. The soul keeps the body alive. Set a tzedakah goal that requires you to earn. If you commit to giving a meaningful amount to charity each year, and your passive income alone cannot cover the giving plus your needs, you must keep some income production active. This forces you to remain engaged, productive, and connected. It is not a financial obligation. It is a spiritual lifeline. The man who gives from earned income is not just helping others. He is keeping himself alive in the deepest sense of that word. Here is the third thing you must do before you retire. Establish a structured relationship with the next generation in which you actively pass on your wisdom and your accumulated insight. This is the most overlooked of the three. The modern retirement tells you to enjoy yourself with your grandchildren. The Jewish elderhood tells you to teach them, and there is a profound difference between those two things. There is a difference between a grandfather who plays with his grandchildren on Sunday and a grandfather who has set aside formal time every week to teach his grandchildren the trades, the values, the strategies, the prayers, the genealogy, the wisdom of the family. The first grandfather is a friend. The second grandfather is a patriarch. The Torah commands the older generation to teach the younger generation everything, and the Talmud teaches in Tractate Kiddushin that the elder who fails to transmit his accumulated wisdom is a thief who has stolen from the next generation. Establish formal weekly time. Sit with your grandchildren or with younger members of your community. Teach what you know. Tell the stories. Demonstrate the skills. Pass on the patterns. The act of teaching keeps your mind sharp. The act of being needed keeps your spirit alive. The act of leaving a legacy keeps the bracha flowing through your bloodline for generations by future generations. Rabbi has witnessed a grandfather who established weekly Torah study with his 5 grandchildren see all 5 grow into deeply rooted adults who carried the family legacy with pride. Not because anything miraculous happened, but because he showed up, he taught, he transmitted, and they received. Let me give you the implementation plan, because knowledge without a plan is just inspiration that fades. Begin 3 years before your intended retirement age. In year 1, identify what your continuing form of work will be. Test it, refine it. Begin doing it part-time alongside your primary career. In year 2, structure your tzedakah commitment. Set the annual giving target that will require you to maintain some income production. Begin the giving immediately to anchor the discipline. In year 3, establish the formal teaching relationship with the next generation. Set the weekly meeting. Begin. By the time your retirement date arrives, all 3 strains are flowing. You do not retire. You transition. The transition is smooth because the new life is already established before the old one ends. Now, Rabbi must give you 3 warnings before we close. The first warning: do not delay these preparations. Every year you wait makes the transition harder. Begin now, even if retirement feels far away. Even if you are 45 watching this. The earlier you plan, the smoother the elderhood. The second warning: do not ignore the concerns of your spouse. If your partner is worried about the retirement you are imagining, listen to them. The intuition of the person who knows you best is sharper than your own optimism. The third warning: do not romanticize idleness. The cruise, the golf course, the endless vacation, all of these have their place as occasional rest. None of them sustain a soul as a permanent way of life. The man who retreats to permanent leisure ages 5 years for every actual year that passes. The Jewish elder remains active and ages backward. The Talmud teaches in Tractate Bava Batra that the elder who maintains his work, his giving, and his teaching has placed himself under the canopy of the Almighty's continuing favor, and the years that follow are not years of decline, but years of harvest. The harvest is the most fruitful season of life. Rabbi has seen this with his own eyes. A businessman in his early 60s who transitioned from full operation of his company to a consulting role, became a mentor to 3 younger entrepreneurs, and tripled his net worth in the 7 years that followed. A widow in her late 60s who had thought she was done with work took on a part-time teaching role, anchored her tzedakah giving, and lived in vibrant health, completely independent into her late 80s. They did not find a secret formula. They simply trusted the ancient wisdom and followed the instructions. The world we are living in today is making the wrong kind of retirement easier than ever. Pension funds, retirement villages, cruise lines designed for seniors. None of these are evil, but all of them tempt the soul into permanent withdrawal from contribution. The Jewish elder must resist the cultural pull. We do not retire. We transition. We continue. We teach. We give. We work in new forms suited to our season. When everything around you is telling you to stop, this teaching is your anchor. Let me bring this home. You now have the 3 things you must do before you retire. Establish a continuing form of meaningful work. Establish a tzedakah commitment that requires you to keep earning. Establish a structured relationship with the next generation in which you actively teach. This is not theory. This is practical, proven wisdom that has carried Jewish elders into the most fruitful seasons of their lives across 3,000 years. You are not weak for needing this teaching. You are wise for receiving it. The Talmud teaches that the Holy One, blessed be He, helps those who refuse to abandon their post in the building of His world. By following this teaching, you are remaining at your post. You have a clear choice tonight. You can continue to imagine the modern retirement that has shortened so many lives, or you can begin tonight to plan the transition that opens the most fruitful chapter of your life. The choice will shape your 70s, your 80s, and your 90s. It will shape the legacy you leave to every generation that follows you. Before you go, I want 3 things from you. First, go to the comments right now and write the words, "My elderhood will be my most fruitful season." Write it, name it, claim it, because this community is built on people doing this work together, and your words might be exactly what someone else in these comments needed to read today. Second, share this video with someone you love who is approaching retirement and maybe making the wrong plan. You know who they are. Send it to them today, not tomorrow, today. Third, subscribe to this channel if you are not yet part of this family, and turn on notifications, because Rabbi is here every single week, going deep into Torah wisdom and bringing it all the way home to the real life you are actually living. Receive this blessing now. May Hashem give you decades of fruitful work in the form best suited to your soul. May He bless every dollar of tzedakah you give from your earned income. May He grant you grandchildren who hunger for your wisdom and remember every word you teach them. May your 70s be richer than your 40s. May your 80s surprise everyone, including yourself. May the harvest of your life last as long as the years Hashem grants you breath. Shalom.